right, here we go. Bills got a better record than the Dolphins. Dolphins are looking for their third win of the season. It's very easy to say Bills are going to destroy the Dolphins, and Dolphins are going to lose. And honestly, that's the most likely outcome. But you never know. For the Bills, obviously, they can't drop the ball here. They don't want to come off two losses, rebound strong and beat the Chiefs and then lose to us. It would be a strong dent to their campaign. Now, for us, we're not going anywhere. We're not going to the postseason unless some insane miracle happens. But within the scope of reality, Dolphins season is got to be measured on other things. A lot of fans are tuned out. I understand. In some ways, I could feel myself tuning out a little bit as well. Although going against a division opponent always adds a little juice. But we're going to have a bunch of players that will be carried over to next year. And if we want to see accurately what the future holds, good or bad, we've got to evaluate these guys for next year's team, whether they should go, whether we need to replace them in the draft, whether they're foundational pieces or not. And then there's McDaniel. I kind of leaned into the conventional wisdom that they're going to ride him to get this tank fulfilled. But what we saw leading up to the draft, trade deadline, and what McDaniel said afterwards is, I'm going to cover that in a podcast tomorrow. I just needed to separate narrative podcast with some real football stuff. But it says that maybe McDaniel will be back. So we've got to win, lose, or draw. We've got to evaluate McDaniel, got to evaluate these pieces. And so it makes this game entertaining in a lot of ways. Somehow we pull it off. Some people will be unhappy because it will push us farther away from that high draft pick. And if we lose, then people will be happy about that. But it's going to make things more murky, especially if Ross wants to bring everything back and do a soft reboot. So that's the deal. I'm going to get into the matchups, the overall frameworks of the team, how they've been doing on the season. So Bills fans can see that, you know what, this team isn't very good, but they do have potential to be dangerous when you look at some of the flaws on the Bills. Plus, we're division opponents. How many times have we kept it close and kind of pushed the boundary? So it is not a game that the Bills fans should overlook, although they got a strong edge. And we Dolphins fans, again, with McDaniel, how does he run this offense? The only way the Dolphins can win is if they get this offense humming and physical on the interior, because that's what the Bills are going to do. So that's what I'm going to do here, guys. Going to open up with the injury reports, which brings problems to both teams. Christian Benford was having a phenomenal career. This year, he's really struggled. I'm not sure if it's injuries. It's a groin. He did not practice. AJ Espinosa, concussion. Both those guys are probably going to be out. DB Sam Franklin, illness, and Shaq Thompson, hamstring. Those two guys aren't a big deal. But Benford is a major problem. And the groin, I think he's had that issue for a while. So he's not going to be in. Now for us, Rasul Douglas did not practice, ankle or foot. He's probably our best cover guy. And the fact that he's not in is very concerning. Chop Robinson, concussion, you added into the loss of Phillips. That means Judon's taking a load of reps. Eskridge did not practice. He's probably going to be out. But the loss of Chop Robinson and Rasul Douglas is a major hit on a defense that has at times shown some life, but for the most part, not. It's going to go back to this offense that's mostly going to be healthy. Now, there's an interesting little thing here. I want to get into this graphic. Teams, for some reason, they have a tendency to play one way on the road and one way at home. And on the stats I'm going to show you, it doesn't take into consideration the context of the teams that are played. But at this stage, you've got enough games for a general tenor. So I'm going to go over the major macro rankings of the Dolphins and the Bills so you can see how they match up. But then dial each one in on home and away because something's going to show up that will be interesting. So here's the graphic. I can see on the left-hand corner offensive points per game, offensive rush yards per game, rush attempts, TOP, time of possession. Then defensively, defensive rush yards, defensive pass yards per game, and then defensive points per game. Okay, so let's look at the Bills. They are ranked third. That's good. You can look over to Miami with 26th. Not so good. But when you dial it in a little bit more, Bills tack on 2 more points at home, 30 compared to away. So it's a little bit of a tendency edge, 2-point edge. And if you look at the Dolphins, they really suck away at 18.6, and they're a little bit better at 21 points or 22. So there is a 6-point swing between the home and away. It does add maybe a little bit of hope. Now, offensive rush yards per game, Bills, again, pretty high with first. Home, 140 away, a little bit less, 138, but relatively similar. Dolphins, 25th. Home, we average 102 more. Well, 102 compared to 93, so it's 11 yards more home than away. And if the Bills have one issue, it's their run defense. So if you're hoping for the Dolphins to win, or you want to focus as a Bills fan, this is the point of contention. Bills are going to run that football, home or away. But for us, it's going to be critical to win this game, and we do run a little better at home. Rush attempts. Again, first for the Bills. And you can see here, they have a tendency to run more away. 31 at home and 34 away. They tend to run that football, which really makes it tougher at opposing defenses and takes a little time off the clock, extra time off the clock. So the home field advantage plays a little less. Now, Dolphins, 30th in rush attempts, 21.8, 22, the same either way. TOP, time of possession, 33 home and away for the Bills. Dolphins 26th, a little less at home at 27 than 28 away. Not that big a deal, but a minute, it's a couple of plays, 3, 4 plays, 5 plays maybe depending. So there is a little advantage there. A little bit disadvantage of playing home unless we change our things. And this is where McDaniel's going to have to run that football a little bit more in attack, because if you go and look at the defense of the Bills, their one eyesore in this whole chart is their DRY, defensive rush yards, 28th, 141 home and away. So if you want to take advantage of the Bills, you got to run that football. Now, Miami, they're 30th. They give them 152 at home and 140 away. So they're giving 12 more away at home, which does not put the odds or the edge in our favor. And if we control the run game, it will offer us an opportunity. But this does not look good. And I don't know why we give up more yards home than away. Pass yards per game, defensive pass yards per game, they're 9th. And it's a very scary number here, 188 home, but only 134 away. Is that because they played a bunch of bad quarterbacks on the road? I don't know. But that is 54 yards difference. And for a team like Miami and McDaniel like to pass, that is not good news. But we'll see. But it will come back to the rushing attack, the balance. Then the Dolphins, surprisingly, they're 10th. I was very surprised at that. I think maybe teams have just been taking advantage of the run attack. But however you slice it, it's only one ranking behind the Bills. 217 at home, which is not good. We give up more pass yards at home than away at 152. So this defense plays worse at home, and that's not fantastic. So defensive points per game, there again, 9th, very solid, but another scary number, and 24.8 at home, but only 14.3 away. And sadly, the Dolphins are 24th, we give up 27.8 at home, almost a point more, over a point more compared to away 26.4. So when you go look at this, it looks like the Bills are far more capable on the road. And we, on offense, we're a little more capable, but on defense, we're far less capable. So if you want to look at this thing, a home field advantage is not appearing, for the most part, team-wide, an advantage for the Dolphins. Can the Bills take advantage of that? We'll see. That will come down to McDaniel running at football and being smart, not having penalties, letting this offense drive things, because you've got to make this game move so the Bills don't get too many attempts. Now, they're going to run the football, and if we run the football, it's going to be a quick game, and I don't know if that will work out for us because they're going to put their points on. So will Tua do what's right? Will McDaniel set him up with right? Running Ollie, running Achane, and maybe Jalen Wright. Maybe there's a way to get them to bite because they do have some issues in that secondary. But there's some things to that I want to get into. So I'm definitely leaning towards, obviously, the Bills, not as a whole team. I'd be crazy to tell you it's not, but I'm saying as far as the advantages of the settings. So we'll look at really the prime suspect here, Allen and his offense versus our defense. They're not stopping them, but if they can slow it down enough, maybe Tua and this offense, which has a tendency to put points on, not every time, sometimes we get smoked, but we put points against this team. So if you look through it, we're not going to have Phillips this week. We're not going to have Chop. You see Judon and Chubb, and people were happy to see Phillips go, but he put on 5 pressures in week 3, so we're going to miss him. Now we got Boner in here. I don't know if he's going to be starting. Fitzpatrick, Jones, Trader Jr., Brooks and Dotson I like. Melifano looks like he's going to play. But that front isn't so hot. Grant struggled. Seal has been, hot and cold. But clearly the loss of Chop in the rotation, Phillips playing, you can make fun of him all you want, but he's been a solid pass rusher, and he's played pretty well on both sides of the ball. It's going to hurt losing both those guys. And you go and you look, again, it's amazing. I don't know what they're doing over with the Bills, but I wish we'd get some of that. Dawkins, Edwards, McGovern, Torrance, and Brown still together. How many years these guys going to play without injuries? Unbelievable. Tight end, which we struggle with. Kincaid had a monster game last week. Knox had a pretty good game last week. They got 2 good tight ends. Coleman's starting to find himself. Palmer's a guy. Shakir is a stud. I didn't know, but my man Tommy Amafi's sports report told me he runs a 4.3. This guy is an amazing slot receiver. And then you got Allen and Cook. I still think Cook is the best, playing as the best back. Yes, there's other guys that are maybe more talented, but when you look at this is a good offensive line. It's a very good offensive line, but I would still say the Colts had the edge. So I give the edge to Cook over Taylor. Taylor's struggled for a couple years through injury. He's a very talented back, but I think Cook is playing the best. And then PFF ranks him number 1. What does that mean? Not much. Allen clearly is a stud. And so we've got to do something to slow down this offense. This defense plays garbage at home, and it really will hurt losing Rasul Douglas. So it's going to be a battle. I'll get to the defense in a second. Of the Dolphins, the offense of the Dolphins versus the defense of the Bills. But the Bills base everything on their run game. They run every sector, interior, A, B, C, D gap, everywhere. And that makes it difficult. Now, if you watch the Dolphins' defense, run defense, they don't just give up big plays. They stop, and eventually something breaks down and big play opens up. And then they get tired, and then the floodgates open. But Allen is he's not like what we kind of remember. They're kind of tailoring it down where he's not carrying so much the run game. They are number 1 in the league as far as pass balance, where it's more rushing than passing. So this is going to be about their rush attack and our rushing attack to kind of we cannot let them take long drives down the field And even if we score a quick touchdown, our defense will come back. And if that's the case, they'll melt. So we've got to keep some sort of balance. And Achane and Ali are darn good backs. Our offensive line not so hot. But this is all about the run game on both sides. Not to take Allen out of the picture. I mean, obviously he's going to play. But, if you got Allen and no run game, that's sort of manageable. But if you got Allen and a very good run game, that is not manageable. Not for this defense. Not at home. So, last little bit here. This will be the second key. And there are holes on both sides of these units. Although one of these holes appears to be getting filled nicely. A shame it's not the Dolphins. So here's the offense versus defense. I got red boxes around areas of concern. Benford, I don't think he's playing. They probably figure we're a lesser team. They know they got to win. They're not sleeping on us probably, but you don't want Benford getting a groin injury and then like a full tear or something. So Maxwell Hairston, first round pick, got injured, came back. Against the Chiefs, he had a phenomenal game. And he covered Worthy, who is blazing. He gave up one catch, but he was able to match stride for stride. And that's probably what they're going to do with Waddle, Waddle will have his catch or two, but it's not going to be the same because they've been so slow in the secondary that Hairston's going to give him a little something different. Although he's a little small, he's still a rookie, so there's opportunities there, but he brings something different. Now, their linebackers, Bernard and Milano. Milano's been injured. Think he's coming back this week. Neither one are playing great. Taron Johnson, not having a high year either. Tre'Davious White, he's steady Eddie, but he's a shadow of what he once was. Lane Bishop's playing pretty good. Poyer, he was on our team. He's back. He's there. They do a lot of stuff with this front getting after you. The offense playing, get enough points so they can play with the lead. But that front is really good. Daquan Jones is a good player, had a down year after the injury, but he's playing really well this year. Oliver's lost for the season. Phillips not so good. They drafted Deion Walker. He's a big guy. He'll offer some problems. Not playing great, but he does show pop at times. And Bosa and Rousseau are playing lights out. So when you look at the matchups to the Dolphins, you're going to see speed matchup between and kind of negating in some ways Hairston versus Waddle. So Washington versus Johnson, Westbrook versus White, that front versus our offensive line. Paul's playing pretty solid. It's his first real season. He's got some flaw to his game. He's a big guy. He'll be able to work Bosa a little bit, but Bosa's got a lot of tools in his toolkit. So I think he'll get some wins clearly. But Paul is a big guy. I kind of like him there. Savania is playing terrible. Saw like some videos a couple of weeks ago about he's finally got it. He doesn't. He's playing terrible. And Deion Walker and Jones will have the edge over him. Brewer is playing really, really well, but he's strapped by Strange and Savania. Those are two holes that Jones and Walker, and even Phillips, he's a little bit of a pass rusher and maybe some blitzing in there. Bills don't blitz all that much. Take advantage on the interior, but this could force McDaniel to have to rush outside all day, which will play into the Bills' hands with Bosa and Rousseau on the edge. It's really the interior that you got to attack them, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. Borum, he can move guys in the run game, inside zone, struggles on outside zone, struggles in pass rush. Good news for us is Dulcich is in there, and he's actually played better than any tight end we've had for a bit, not named Smith, and then we have Rucci, he's another big guy. These guys can kind of block, and they've shown the ability to even catch a little bit, so it does add some toughness to this squad. We're going to have to do a lot of movement blocks, gap blocks, pull blocks, angle blocks, if we're not trying to just run straight outside with the outside zone. And that can hurt the Bills. They do struggle against the run defense, But you're going to need a little bit of straight up too because they've got some quality players up front. But I do like the Dolphins tight end group much better than it used to be. They got rid of Tana, 2 guys cut for one name. And then you got Tua. Tua will get that ball out quick to offset a lot of stuff, but does he make the bonehead play? Does he make more big plays? And then there's Achane and Ollie. Achane is a nightmare, big play waiting to happen. And then Ollie is the force inside the hammer. But how much does McDaniel use that? So ultimately, this is going to come down to the philosophical decision-making of McDaniel. Does he get nervous Nelly and begin calling loads of screens, pass plays, and runs outside? Or does he show some patience? Now, it can't probably be too much patience because the Dolphins' defense is going to give up some points and yards, and Allen and the Bills are going to put it up there, but he's got to show some. And if he can stay balanced, then maybe he can get this thing to a point where there's an opportunity if the Bills make a mistake. Most likely not. But that's the 2 keys for me. Bills, their run game, can it be slowed? Dolphins, can they be balanced? Can they stick with it? And then get some of that legitimate play action to take advantage of Bernard and Milano on a legitimate play action rollouts. We'll see. I think it's like 30-24 Bills. I think that's a fair, or maybe 31-24. I think Bills over the Dolphins, but you never know. So good luck, Bills fans. We need it more. So it should be fun. It's always fun. It's a critical game for both teams. Let's see how it plays out. Let's hope neither one of us get heavy injuries. There's a lot of injuries this year. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out.